Hello, and welcome to Sideways. This week, we're talking about something we all want, but which can prove to be elusive depending on the criteria we set for actually experiencing it. I'm experiencing it now, because my criteria is being outside, in nature, walking around with the dogs. We consider having a go at opera, get some new and valuable information on the theme of vegan pets, and Martin gets a bit shirty when he thinks I've set him some homework. Happiness.
Excellent. You bothered to turn up then?
I mean, from you not bothering to look at your messages since 20 to 8 in the morning.
20 to 8, is that what it was? Well, the clocks went forward last night, so I got confused and put mine back a couple of days. I'm still on Friday.
That's nice then. Yeah. You've still got Saturday to look forward to.
I've still got a weekend ahead of me, yeah.
That's quite a good... Sorry, I'm just being distracted by some people carrying some wood down the road, and the woman who lives on the corner who's a bit of an amateur opera singer.
Oh, is she?
Sometimes you walk past and you can hear her warbling.
Yeah, excellent. And is she any good?
No.
No, that's why she's amateur, I suppose.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, well, I say she's no good. I mean, she's probably better than most people that could turn their hands to...
Yeah, to try and have a go. Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever tried singing opera, have you?
Not really, mate, no.
No.
Have you?
No, I haven't. We could join the Operatic Society, couldn't we?
Let's give it a go, shall we? I'm sure we better do it. It looks easy, doesn't it? You've got to shout a bit.
We could appear in some Gilbert and Sullivan, couldn't we?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, not to be confused with the 70s pop star of a very similar name.
Gilbert O'Sullivan, who's come up previously on this
he has,
podcast, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's been a little bit intrusive. Too intrusive for my liking.
Yeah. Anyway,
shall we crack on?
Yeah, why not?
How are you feeling anyway? Are you in better form this week now that COVID's starting to subside?
Yeah, well, I feel better than I did last Sunday, certainly. I've got an annoying cough that's hanging around.
Yeah.
Which is a bit irritating. But I know you don't want too much information because I know you only really asked me out of politeness.
I can't really be bothered to I'm lucky I bothered to ask you at all, to be honest, yeah.
To be honest, you're showing quite a lot of laziness, not even bothering to get COVID.
Well, yeah, it's just pure luck. I don't know why. It hasn't happened yet. It probably still will.
Mm.
It seems to get everyone eventually, doesn't it?
Well, I know quite a few people who haven't had it yet. But yeah. You are becoming quite a select band, I'd say now.
I know, yeah. Yeah, I feel a little bit left out.
Yeah, I don't think it's a club you particularly want to be a member of.
No, I'm a member of one of those clubs that I didn't want to be a member of, but there it is.
Yeah. What's that? Being a knob?
Yeah, that's it. That's the one, yeah. It was quite easy to join, I found, in the end.
Well, would be for you.
I just hang around with people like you and it rubbed off. Who were business?
That's quite good for you. That's one of your better jokes.
You may have to cut some of that out, I reckon.
I won't be cutting any of that out, as you well know.
All right, we'll get on to the subject matter then, which was... I can't remember who put this on the list. You know, sometimes we both have ideas, but I was prompted to go down this particular route of talking about happiness. And I was prompted to go down it recently because it was... last week it was International Day of Happiness on the 20th of March.
Was it?
Yeah, I know it passed me by as well. I'd imagine it passed quite a lot.
International Day of Happiness.
Yeah, I know. They come up with all sorts of days, don't they? They just come up on one of my, I think it was on my Facebook feed.
That seems a very strange thing to have a day for. I mean, surely we're looking for happiness wherever we can find it. We don't. I'm not going to feel happy today. I'm going to wait for an International Day of Happiness.
Well, that's it. Well, I think we've talked about that before, hasn't we? When something get hoisted upon you regardless of your circumstances. Because I can imagine there's a lot of people in certain parts of the world right at this moment are particularly unhappy.
Yeah. Yeah, precisely.
So anyway, there are all sorts of strange days, aren't there? I don't know who allocates them. And whether it's actually got any gravitas. Sorry, what was that, mate?
Pancake Day.
Pancake Day. Well, we know where that came from-ish, don't we, really?
Yeah. Mother's Day, of course. It's Mother's Day today.
It is Mother's Day today. Yeah. So, yeah. So to all those mothers out there, we salute you.
We do. Yeah. Well done. Well done for mothering.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a difficult job.
It is a difficult job. Yeah.
Well, it was for yours particularly.
Okay. Come on. Get on with it.
Okay. Well, before we start, then, before we go back to the main core,
Yeah.
we had some quite good feedback on last week's episode on cravings and dealing with cravings, and I think there was a question cropped up on our Sideways podcast Facebook page, wasn't there?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Regarding cravings, whether habitual or not, which I think we answered it between us, didn't we? In the end,
Well, I answered it very effectively. Yours was a little bit flimsy, but
well, whichever way around it was, either yours was good and mine was flimsy. I don't really know, but not really that fast. But I think we covered it anyway.
I think we did cover it. I think we got to the bones of it, didn't we?
We did. It's nice when people do react and listen to it and come back. So
it is nice. We like any feedback, don't we? Apart from negative feedback, we don't really like that very much.
Don't acknowledge it even.
Doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
Negative feedback?
It's never happened, so that's all right. But just regarding cravings as well, someone was saying in groups that they had to turn off. I don't know if you've watched it, and I certainly haven't. But Peaky Blinders.
No, I haven't. Too popular.
Yeah, I haven't watched it as yet. I know it is a very popular series, but they said they turned it off, which we'd mentioned in our podcast. I'm not sure that wasn't a response to her podcast, but they said that. Well, she said that she turned it off because they sort of bang on the whiskey early doors, first thing in the morning, and they never portrayed them as drunk or underachieving. Yeah,
almost as if it's a kind of part of the powerful mystery.
It is
the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I haven't watched Peaky Blinders. I imagine it's quite violent as well. I don't like things that are too gratuitously violent. They'll probably make me faint or something.
I just haven't got round to it really. Perhaps I'll dabble with it at some point. But there's a new series a new series just come out of it, hasn't it? So
the last series, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot to look at if I wanted to go back to the beginning, which obviously I would. But on happiness, I know. And you and I have spoken in the past, and you've said that you're perhaps not surprised, but you get a lot of people coming to see you and say they just want to be happy. Which is obviously people obviously rate that above so many other things, don't they? But it's a pretty elusive thing to achieve because it's quite difficult to define, isn't it?
We also can't have it all the time, can you? I see you've just before we go on. I see you've kind of slipped straight into the subject matter without any. I just had something I wanted to mention, if that's all right.
Oh, did you know what? I didn't even think that you would bother to have anything in place for the before we start section.
Well, I've only got something in place because we had an email.
Oh right. Oh okay.
Right, and I wanted to share this with you.
All right. Okay, mate.
So thanks to Helen, who's in Australia, and sent us an email. Do you remember a while ago? I can't remember which episode it was. We were talking about whether or not we were wondering whether people kept vegan pets.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
remember? I can't remember what the context was, but then
no, I can't.
Difficult to remember the context of anything, pretty much that we talk about. But anyway, Helen wrote to us saying she enjoyed the podcast, which is always lovely. But she also said, she says, anyway, the reason for reaching out is that you asked a question about vegan dogs. And while I don't know any vegan dogs, I had a boyfriend 20 years ago who was a committed vegan and raised his kitten as vegan.
Wow.
She says he put a lot of effort into finding appropriate food supplements to keep him healthy and accepted that the cat would inevitably hunt its own rats and mice when it was out about town. But the thing he got tetchy about was when the Italian neighbours would feed him sausage. Which really made me chuckle. I had this idea of this kitten sort of slinking off to the next door Italian neighbour because he knew there'd be something other than tofu or raw broccoli.
You can imagine his poor little sad eyes looking up at the neighbour's door saying, oh, please.
All the other cats in the neighbourhood all really chowing down on whiskers and all the rest of it. It made me think about what Daisy's view would be if I started feeding her on a vegan diet. I don't think she'd be very happy, would she?
She'd leave home, wouldn't she? she'd run off in the woods one day, that'd be that.
She wouldn't only be re-rolling in fox poo, would she? She'd be eating it.
She would, like, yes, which I think illustrates, baby. You can't sort of foist it upon people, can you? You know, you're either you can choose to have a vegan diet or not.
Exactly.
And making your poor cat or budgerigar or whatever vegan. Perhaps budgerigars are vegan.
Budgerigars are vegan, aren't they?
They must be, mustn't they?
If anybody out there knows whether budgerigars are vegan or not, Helen, can you let us know?
Yeah, come on, Helen. You're a go-to now on this sort of subject matter.
Anyway, sorry, let's get back to happiness.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Difficult to define because it's when you're looking at the research, you know, you find that, you know, philosophers and theologians and psychologists and even economists have sought to define it. And there's all sorts of different definitions, really. And I think the easiest, most basic one that I came across, which, you know, I'm sure you'll be able to comment on, it said that happiness is a state of well-being that encompasses living a good life, one with a sense of meaning and deep contentment, which is difficult to achieve, but it's that's where it defines what happiness is, apparently. I never really thought about a definition of happiness, but I suppose thinking about it now, I always think of happiness as something, you know, you mentioned it earlier when clients have said, I've heard people say, all I want is just to feel happy. Yeah.
And my immediate response to that is what? All the time? Because that doesn't feel realistic to me.
No.
You know, happiness feels like something that we inevitably drift through. We drift in and out of it. You know, there are moments when you think, oh, I feel really happy at the moment. But there was a word in that description that you gave there, contentment. I think that's the thing that feels almost kind of more powerful to me. You know, I feel content? I can feel content without feeling happy.
Can you?
Well, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
You know, happiness feels like it's something almost like a specific feeling of joy, if you like. I can be content at a time where someone would say, do you feel happy? And I'd say, well, I feel content. That's okay. I think that's enough. The thing, I mean, maybe you're going to come on and talk about this. I think the thing about happiness is if we tell ourselves that what we want to do is feel happy, it almost feels as if in some respects we're setting the bar a little bit high. Sometimes it's hard to feel happy. It feels like it can feel like a bit of a stretch. I mean, obviously we want it some of the time.
Yeah.
Is it realistic to feel happy all the time?
No, it's not. And I just wanted to come on to that. You're right. I did want to come on to that because when you're looking at the research, I'd like to perhaps say that I did look at psychologytoday.com again to get some of my material. Yeah. They always seem to come up with some good stuff on there. But I did look at various sources. And you're right. The general consensus is that happiness is not the result of sort of bouncing from one joy to the next. But happiness does it. You know, it does it to achieve it. It typically involves times of considerable discomfort. And it's a bit like the Buddhist philosophy, really. You know, where to achieve true happiness or nirvana, to reach nirvana, you have to go through some really tough times. And I think that you're absolutely right. And it's an ongoing process. We have to remember that it's not. And another quote I came across was that happiness is a direction, not a place, which probably illustrates what you're talking about there.
Yeah, I think it does. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost when you're experiencing a moment, or maybe even longer than a moment, where you say, oh, I feel really happy at the moment. It is fleeting. I think by definition, that sort of feeling is fleeting. You're very, very fortunate if you're going to hold on to that for days on end. And obviously I think we've spoken about this before, but sadness is one of the things that gives happiness meaning, isn't it? If you never experience any discomfort or difficulty, then what does happiness mean anyway?
No, you're exactly right. It gives you a reference point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So these points that they come up with trying to achieve a level of happiness, I wanted to go through some of those. There's 5 real points here that come up in the research.
All right.
And so I just wanted your views on this, really. The first one was to achieve happiness, really, you've got to start living according to your values. And they see that as a central component of the pursuit of happiness. And what they're getting at there is that societal norms and expectations sometimes lead people to act in ways that don't align with their true self. And I think just to illustrate that, I think, because we do get people come to groups sometimes where they've struggled with their sexuality and they've used drink and drugs to avoid having to deal with it. And that's like a societal norm trying to dictate how they should be living their lives. And they're not achieving happiness because their core values aren't being met.
Yeah, it's a good example. I think that's inevitably right. It's not just in examples like that, is it? It's in any way in which we feel as if we're living our lives according to the needs or the desires of somebody else, that is bound to impact negatively upon our happiness. You weren't born to be somebody else, were you? You were born to be you.
Exactly.
And obviously, in your case, that makes you very, very difficult to be around. But but I would still defend to the ends of the earth your right to be who you are.
To be very annoying. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'm sticking to my true values.
Exactly. And that's the only way that you can be happy. Obviously, it will make everybody else unhappy. Yeah, but who cares?
Well, no, my core values are being met. I'm happy with that. And if annoying you is a knock-on effect to that, bonus.
It's even happier.
It does, yeah. It takes it up another level.
It's a turbocharge, isn't it, for the happiness? Yeah, so I'm completely on board with that one. Yep. You got to be yourself.
You have got to be yourself. And the second point they come up onto was the use of mindfulness, really. It says it's a powerful way to sort of cultivate happiness. Now, I wasn't quite sure about this, but so I'd welcome your input on this. But it goes on to say that it involves focusing on the present moment and observing thoughts and emotions without judging them, acknowledging your feelings. And then rather than struggling against them, mindfulness can help to release their potency and negativity.
That's interesting, because I do have a slightly different view of that. I'd say that the way in which mindfulness, or something like mindfulness, anything that kind of keeps you anchored in the moment, seems to me the way that really helps is it enables you to see what's going on realistically. That won't necessarily lead you to happiness.
No,
it might actually lead you to feeling quite sad. But that's got to be okay too. So it kind of goes back to that the point about contentment. Yeah. Sometimes contentment will mean me just accepting my feeling, and that feeling might be uncomfortable. It might be painful. It won't always. So I fundamentally disagree with that. I don't think mindfulness will necessarily lead you to happiness, but it will lead you to acceptance. Which ultimately probably is the only route to happiness. Route, that's another word instead of journey.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Or route, if you're American.
Route. Yeah. Well, we can jot these down then, can't we? So I can use them to stop annoying you in the future.
Yeah, like you will.
I don't expect I'll do that. The next point they go on to, what I found during the research, was relationships. And they're saying that above and beyond sort of finances or intelligence, or perhaps even your hometown, relationships are a crucial part of happiness. And which says it's like having a deep connection with family or friends or a romantic partner. They say it fulfills a basic human need for belonging.
Are you familiar with the Harvard Happiness Survey?
No.
Well, you can look that up when we're done, because the Harvard Happiness Survey is, I think, probably the longest piece of research into happiness that's ever been done. I think it was. It must be about 100 years old now. Still going. And one of the key findings from that study has been that it's relationships that make us happy.
Okay.
So I would totally agree with that. And in fact, just to give a little bit of personal reflection on that, as I've been isolating this week, because I was bothered enough to get COVID, unlike some people, I've kind of really noticed that kind of disconnection and the relationship between disconnection and happiness. It becomes, I know it's only kind of 10 days and these are real first world problems, but it does get you down, actually. Yeah. When you can't connect with anyone, you can't sort of hang around with anyone, sit and chat to anyone. I mean, it got me so bad, I almost looked forward to sitting and talking to you this morning.
Well, that is one of the side effects of COVID I didn't know existed, but yeah, down it goes.
So I think, yeah, that's totally true. And of course, the other thing about relationships and connection being so related to happiness is if you think about what addiction does, addiction disconnects you.
Exactly. Exactly.
And so you're never going to find, I mean, I know you know this anyway, but you're never going to find happiness in the bottom of a bottle, because it is actually, what it's actually doing is it's taking you in the opposite direction from the one in which you really need to travel. Travel's another word you could use instead of journey.
Yeah, okay. That's another one on the list that I won't be using.
Perambulate, is that another one?
Huh?
Perambulate?
You could use that as well, but I'm just sticking with journey for the time being, thanks. But no, I agree, and I think, but relationships are important, but I think we have to work towards that as well, don't we? Really, they don't just happen on their own. I think we need to invest a bit of time and energy in it, don't we, into creating a meaningful relationship. Yeah. It doesn't just happen.
No, and it's also not just relationships with other people; it's also relationships with ourselves. For a lot of people, is the relationship they find hardest to cultivate.
Yeah.
If you know, you will know people like this that always got to be doing something. They've always got to be either with people or distracted in some way. I always think that's perhaps indicative that their relationship with themselves is perhaps not as settled as it could be.
Right.
I always think if you feel good about yourself, then you're never on your own, really, are you?
True, that's right. And you're right about with the happiness at the bottom of a bottle or bottom of a glass, because as we know in addiction that it's a very isolating condition, and it will take you fully away from everyone and anything of any meaning to pursue that particular part of your own personality. And you're certainly not at one with yourself then, that's for sure. No. You really hate yourself. Very unhappy. In fact, just something you just said earlier on made me a little bit unhappy. You started giving me homework, saying, "Oh, you've got to go look up this Harvard this and Harvard that." I thought that's a bit rough. That's a bit.
I didn't say you had
tough.
To.
Well, it came across that way. Let's put it that way.
You're feeling a bit sensitive this morning.
A little bit, yeah. Well, I wasn't, but I am now.
You didn't get enough sleep. You lost an hour, didn't you, last night?
That's what it comes from. Yeah.
Listen, you don't have to go look at the Harvard happiness survey. If you want to remain ignorant, that's up to you.
Well, no. I was going to. Then you said it was over 100 pages. I thought, I'm not wading through that.
No, I said it's been going for over 100 years.
Oh, see, I'd stopped
You're even listening to me, are you?
No, well, I turned off as soon as you started the homework rant. Anyway, the next point. So we know that, again, relationships central to happiness, isn't it? Having meaningful relationships.
Yeah,
I think that's right.
Definitely. You don't need loads, but you need some real ones.
Yeah, I agree. The next point to come on to, which was, again, it's one which we can discuss further, really, but it's your career choice, shall we say. And it goes on to say that committing to work that aligns with your values can instill meaning and fulfillment. And, if you're skilled at your job, makes you happy, and whether you like the people you work with. But that's quite tough, isn't it? Because I think choosing a career, I mean, how many people actually go into their field of work or start a career in something that they decided that was what was going to make them happy?
Yeah, I used to sell toilet rolls.
Well, exactly, yeah. I mean, you didn't get a great deal of fulfillment from that, did you, really? It was fun.
I mean, I on that point, I think my personal view would be it isn't really, I think that's a bit too narrow. I don't think it's really about your career. I think it's about your purpose. Does your life have a purpose? I would say that it's impossible to lead a happy life or to experience happiness on a kind of regular basis unless there is some sort of meaning and purpose in your life. Now, for a lot of us, our purpose comes from our work, or that's one of the places where we get a lot of our sense of purpose. I mean, it's certainly true for me, but I don't think it has to be. It doesn't have to be your work. It might be that you do something that doesn't really give you a great sense of purpose, but that frees your time and resource up to go and do something purposeful in the rest of your life. So I don't think it's career. To me, it's much more about what is the point of your life? What are you here for? What meaning are you deriving from your life? I think if you can't answer that question, it's pretty hard to feel satisfied and happy. But if you can, then obviously it makes it a lot easier.
I suppose Yeah, you're right. And I think looking at it from the other end, if you're in a job that it is making you unhappy, then it's going to be difficult to overcome, isn't it? I mean, if you've got a job that sort of kind of meets your basic needs, really, isn't it? If you feel like you're fairly compensated, for example, or that you're working reasonable hours, or you've got a manageable commute, or or job security, even a job even job security in a job you don't particularly like may give you a level of happiness.
Yeah, I think those sorts of things, that's true. They do. They will make a difference. But it feels to me as if they make a difference on a more micro level. I mean, to me, you'd be quite a good example of this. I know you get fulfillment and enjoyment from your work, but you also get similarly an enormous amount of sense of purpose from the work you do with group.
I do, right? Yeah, very much.
So to me, you'd be an example of someone who doesn't. Yes, you derive some purpose in your life from your work, but you probably derive as much, if not more, from stuff you do outside of work.
More, I'd say. Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah.
Which is a good point, because I think it comes on to the next point about money, really, which is aligned to career. Because there's the old saying, money doesn't make you happy, but I think money can sort of buy you a bit of happiness to the point where it lifts you out of poverty, doesn't it, really, and allows you to live comfortably. But beyond that point, I don't think money does have a great deal of impact. I mean, if someone is earning 4 million rather than 3 million a year, for example, does that extra million, does that buy them extra happiness? It doesn't, does it? It comes down to, apparently there is a sort of a sweet point, which is slightly different for each person, about how much you earn and to compensate you fairly, and you feel like you are, all your basic needs are being met. And it's at that point that we strive to get real happiness. You strive to achieve that, really.
Yeah, I always think with regard to money that not having any can be a cause of unhappiness.
Yeah.
I don't think any amount can make you happy. Doesn't matter how much you've got.
No.
If you don't have enough to live, then obviously that's going to be a source of great difficulty for you. But once you do, I think chasing a dollar, thinking it's going to create happiness for you, is a fool's errand.
Well, I've certainly been there myself, chasing that, and it brings nothing but heartache. But I think it probably illustrated quite well people that perhaps win the lottery. You see so many stories about people that it absolutely upsets the balance of their life. It doesn't make them happy. It causes them extra issues and problems they never thought they were going to have. Never assumed that was going to come along.
Have you ever won anything on the lottery?
Not really.
No.
Lucky dip.
Yeah. If you ever won big on the lottery, you expect you'd give me quite a lot of money, wouldn't you?
I'm sort of doubting that, as I'm thinking.
If you won the lottery before you come and do my painting in a couple of weeks, would you let me have it for free?
No, I just wouldn't come. I just wouldn't turn up. So you get on with that.
At least I appreciate your honesty. That's good.
Thank you. Yeah. So if I don't turn up,
you've won the lottery.
Yeah, exactly. I suppose I ought to buy a ticket first. But there was a phrase that I came across which I found quite interesting during my research. Was called they called it the hedonic treadmill. And I don't know if you've come across that before, but it explains that when people reach milestones such as buying a new car or getting a pay rise, you sort of have a jolt of happiness, but eventually return back to your baseline. And then it fuels the so-called hedonic treadmill, in which people continually believe the next change will bring happiness. And it explains that appreciation of what you have can help you find happiness, and it stops it from fading.
Yeah, well, I'd not heard that phrase before, but I certainly think that's true.
You'd agree, wouldn't you?
I can see, I've worked with a lot of people over the years who will change things outside of themselves in order to try and find happiness, when really the key to happiness and balance is inside them. So whether it be a new car or a holiday or buying a new house or changing your partner, people do that often because they think, oh, this is going to make me happy. Oh, I don't feel happy, but if I change this and I do this, this is going to make me happy. And it never does. And actually what happens is you get a kind of inverse reaction, because you keep chasing this and you keep finding that everything you do doesn't bring you happiness, and you get more and more unhappy.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you're one of those people who does that, stop looking outside of yourself for happiness, because that's not where it is.
Oh, that's again very, very. You're in a very didactic mood today, aren't you? Telling people what to do.
Yeah, well, I'm still suffering for the effects of COVID. I
usual.
won't tell the listeners what you said long COVID creates in people because it's too rude.
It's not broadcastable. You're right.
It's not. And I don't think it's scientifically accurate either, by the way.
Anyway, I'm sort of coming towards the end, but I just wanted a little. I like a quote from Gandhi,
Yeah.
and obviously he's got one to throw into the mix when it comes to happiness.
He would have.
Would do, yeah.
He's a smart ass, isn't he?
A little bit, yeah. He's got way too many good, wise words for his own good.
He should have got off his arse and started doing things instead of sitting around thinking of quotes all the time.
Yeah, well, he should. Yeah, exactly. Start putting some of that into action. Yeah. So,
Telling other people what they should do, just go and get out and do it yourself.
Well, yeah. You must quite like him the way you're behaving today, though. Gandhi and Landy, it all comes. You're all rooted in the same direction. Anyway, what he says is that happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. What you think, what you say, what you do are in harmony. What you think. I know, you have to think about that as well, don't you? Just to see whether it's got any value.
That's complicated. I'm too tired.
I know, it's too complicated.
But he's probably right. It's Gandhi. He's probably right, isn't he?
Mahatma's never wrong, is he?
So I'm just thinking of an example. So you think to yourself, I'm going to the farmer's market. Yeah. You tell me I'm going to the farmer's market this morning. Yeah. And then you go to the farmer's market. Yeah. Does that make you happy? Yeah, it does. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Gandhi, proven right again. It's all right with a baseline illustration. We like that. All right. Okay. Good. So, really, onto the gratitude list, mate. If you wanted, have anything you wanted to add to yours this week? Well, yeah, it was my son's birthday this week, and as you know, I've had COVID. I don't know if I've mentioned that. No, have you? Hey. But I was well enough to drive myself in a separate vehicle to the coast so that we could have a nice walk with the dogs on his birthday. So I was quite grateful that I was well enough to do that. And I was also grateful, in a related piece of information, one of my neighbours, when I was having a delivery earlier in the week, and I'd said to the guy who was doing the delivery, I'm isolating, so don't get too close. And she overheard. And the next day, she put a little note through my door to say, I overheard you saying to the delivery driver, you're isolating. If you need anything, just let me know. I can go to the shop so I can walk the dogs or whatever. Oh, that's really sweet. I thought that was a lovely thing. You know, that sort of, those little gestures from people, really make you, or remind you that other human beings can be lovely. Can be good. Yeah, that's right. Did you say it was a neighbour? I didn't get any offers like that from you, by the way. I think I did in writing, didn't I? Say if there's anything. Oh no, perhaps I didn't. No, you're right. No, couldn't be asked. That's for sure. Yeah, so that's mine this week. Yeah, my one's quite simple, really. It was spending time with my big brother. Oh, nice. Which, I was grateful. Who now looks like your father. He does look very much like my dad. Yeah, it's hauntingly so. He does. But yeah, we went to see. We went to the pub, which is a bit weird, but we went to. Did you? Yeah, well, we went to see a band. Jez's band, Jez Thistlethwaite's band, who's also another one of their listeners. His band were playing up the local pub, so Russ and I mean, Russ doesn't drink either, and so we went along there and watched it and spent a bit of time together. Although we are getting a bit old, because we thought, perhaps we'll find a seat to sit down. And this is a bit loud. We can't talk. You know. Did you wear ear protectors? Virtually, yeah. But yeah, that was good. So that was nice. I was grateful to be able to do that this week. That's nice. Does Russ listen? No, he doesn't. Oh, well, that's not very good, is it? No, I thought you were going to go off on one where you were going to name check every one of our listeners. No, well, hopefully it would take a long time. But it would take quite a long time. It would. He does listen. I think. Well, it's normally Gina, his wife, that listens in, and then she hears. Russ can hear her laughing in another room, and he realised then she's listening to her podcast. Well, I think I did discuss. I think I probably when I told you a couple of days ago what the subject matter was going to be for this week, I said, "What do you think it was going to end up on the Spotify search list?" Well, and you hit it. You hit it straight away. Ken Dodd. Ken Dodd. Happiness by Ken Dodd. Got to be Ken Dodd. So you have actually put Happiness by Ken Dodd on the Spotify. Absolutely. It's quite a dreadful song, really, but it suits it perfectly, doesn't it? And we're non-judgmental as far as music genres are concerned when it comes to Spotify search. Didn't he get done for tax evasion, Ken Dodd?
Oh, I'm sure he was morally probably a little bit looser than we'd
Well,
like
not
to.
as he. I don't think he was as morally loose as some people of his era.
No, well, quite as it turns out, no. Exactly right.
As far as we know.
As far as we know, I don't think he was ever U-treed, was he? But, which a lot of people of his.
Yeah. Oh,
So, no,
well,
I think Ken's clean. I think it is a clean Ken.
Yeah. So you didn't bother doing a search then? You just put that straight on there?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because we've sort of changed it a little bit, haven't we? Because we go on to bands we like but have never purchased any material from.
Oh, yeah. I always forget about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, go on then. What you got in that genre in that I can't think of any words today.
That part of the category. Well, I think that you're just trying to buy time so you can think of someone other than the Jam, aren't you?
No, I thought of someone last week. I went with Pink Floyd, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
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 It reminded me of Pink Floyd, I think.
Well, I've actually gone through and made a list of these bands, so I'm okay for the next few weeks, rather than struggle on a Sunday morning thinking, oh God, who can I put on this week?
Okay, I've got someone. He's just come to me.
Okay.
Fine,
Did you want to spill the beans on that particular group?
Well, it's not a group. It's an artiste.
Oh, okay.
It's Nick Drake.
Nick Drake.
Yeah.
I don't even know who Nick Drake is.
You've never heard of Nick Drake?
No.
He's a kind of folky singer-songwriter type of thing.
And
the
you've
sort
never...
of stuff that you'd really imagine that I would like.
Yeah.
Kind of seminal in that genre. But I've not got any of his stuff, I've just realised. So there you go, Nick Drake.
Nick Drake, okay.
And the Jam.
And the Jam. It's never extending list. And Pink Floyd. So that you've had your top three.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I've got the Who on here.
Oh. The Who. I haven't got any Who, but then I'm not a massive fan of the Who.
Oh yeah, well I really love you. I hear stuff come on the radio. I think, oh, that is just magnificent. And then I realise I've never actually bothered to buy any of their stuff. So they fit the category perfectly.
Well, actually, there's a subgenre here that we could start.
Okay.
Because I don't have any of the Who, but I do have a Pete Townshend solo album.
Oh, okay.
Which is called White City? I think it is, and it's very, very good.
In fact, I've got a Pete Townshend single called Rough Boys.
There you
so
go.
Yeah, that is
There you go.
But yeah. So yeah,
none of the Who, but you have got some solo work.
Stuff. Well, that's going to get way too complicated. But I could think about it.
Actually, I've got none of the Jam, but I think I've got an album by Paul Weller.
Oh, okay, yeah. I
haven't got anything by Bruce Foxton, though.
No, that's it. That's me done, really, mate.
Well, that's enough, isn't it, for today?
More than enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, I wish you happiness.
Thank you. And you, sir.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. Okay. Take it easy.
Laters.
Bye.
Bye. Sideways was created by Graham Landy and Martin Pankhurst. If you want to read more about our work or sort through the extensive archive of past episodes, just visit grahamlandywellbeing.co.uk/sideways-podcast. You can follow us on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram at Sideways Podcast, and you can email us if you have a question or if there's something you'd like us to cover. But most of all, we want to tell you how grateful we are that you come and listen, and we ask that if you've enjoyed what you've heard, that you spread the word. And we'll see you next week.